Hi, welcome back to the course. In the previous session, we learned about the planning of physical education program in school for the entire year. In this session, we will understand how do we implement that plan. Plan lays the foundation. Implementation actually helps us achieve the goal and objective defined in that plan. The success of any plan depends on the success of the implementation, and the implementation largely depends on three factors: lesson plans mapped to the curriculum framework, availability of play spaces, and availability of props and equipment. Let us go through one by one and understand how these factors affect the entire plan and how these factors help us achieve the goal. Let us understand curriculum framework. This is one of the most popular or widely used curriculum framework because this clearly defines what you should do for the formative year students, which is nursery to 2, then how you should move from nursery to 2 formative years into primary years, middle school and high school. Let us go one by one. If you see here, nursery to 2 graders, the lesson plan or the activities should focus on building fundamental skills. We will of course go in deeper what fundamental skills are in the next slides. Then as you move from nursery to 2, as you progress, the next graders nursery 3 to 5, in this we focus on building foundational skills which will help us adapt to sports, which will graduate us towards the sports skills. Then in standard grade 6 to 8, we expose students to multiple sports so that they learn multiple skills for the overall development of their health and fitness. Then grade 9 onwards, they can specialize in 1 or 2 sports. The fundamental skills, the movement skills, let us understand that what it is. So basically foundational skills or fundamental skills or the movement skills we call it, okay, are of 3 different categories: action, balance and coordination, or locomotor skill, non-manipulative skill, manipulative skill and non-manipulative skills. Okay, non-manipulative means the stability skill. Okay. This is the time nursery to 2 that you must focus on these 3 most important foundational skills. Let us go one by one. Locomotor skills are the skills which are required to move from one place to another. The word loco means movement, right? Locomotive train that moves from one place to another. Right. So, locomotor means moving from one place to another using your motor abilities. Like I am moving from here to there, I am using my motor abilities to move from one place to another. Right. The skill name is walking, or it could be running, it could be jumping. So, these are the examples of locomotor skills. These are the skills. Using these skills you move from one place to another, like walking, running, hopping, skipping, galloping, sliding, and the list is endless. Manipulative skills are the skills where you manipulate something, means the object, for example, right. This object is here, I take it from here to there, I am manipulating the object from one place to the other place. So, any kind of skill you perform that has object involved and you do something with the object is a manipulative skill. For example, throwing, catching, kicking, dribbling, volleying, striking, anything with the bat object, right. Throwing, you throw ball, bat, you throw ball, catching, you catch the ball, kicking. So, all these skills involve an object. So, anything you do with an object is a manipulative skill. Then the third, non-manipulative or the stability skill we call it, okay, wherein you balance your body or you transfer your weight from one place to the other place, okay, and maintaining the center of gravity, which is of course called a balancing skill. Okay. These skills are activities that you do: turning and twisting, rolling, balancing, I would say all yoga, so all these are stretching exercises, all come under stability skill. So, these are the three important skills that a child must learn in the formative years. That is why it is called the foundational skills, the building blocks for other skills. Again, the word locomotor means movement using motor abilities is a locomotion, and these are the examples of the same. Stability skill or balance and control of your body, or non-manipulative skill, what we call. These are the examples of it, and all the stretching exercises, yoga, all this come under stability skill. Manipulative skill, as I mentioned, anything that you do with the object. If you see all the games over here, all the activities, they are using an object. Okay. These three are the foundational skills. Without these three skills, you cannot do anything. You cannot play anything. If you cannot move from one place to another, you cannot play. If you cannot do anything with an object, you cannot play a sport, right? And if you do not have balance, you cannot do any physical activity at all. So, these are the foundational skills. In addition to this, one needs to understand the relationship between body parts: right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, right. One needs to understand that front, back, and one needs to understand the relationship with the object. If a ball comes, I should catch. If a bat is there, I should hold the bat, right. If a bat is thrown, I should not catch. So, that is the relationship between the object and you. And relationship with people means how do you pass, what is the distance that you required. Time, force and effort, the another very important part of the movement concept, wherein you must understand how much time you should take to reach from one place to another, how much time you should take to throw the ball or to pass the ball to your teammates or to your friends, and the flow, the rhythm, how, in what way, in what the rhythm that you pass it around, what way you should make the movement, entire movement flow. Another very important is the space awareness, right. Space awareness simply means, if you see kids, they slowly develop this, right. That is why if you give a ball to kids, everybody, they all will go together and they keep running, right, and they bang with each other, they are just next to each other, right. That is the space awareness that needs to be inculcated. That is why it forms the basis of the the fundamental movement concept, the entire movement concept. When we are teaching it to the kids, we must focus on these very important aspects of space awareness, like where to stand, what is the distance, what should be the distance between you and your teammates, so that you can play comfortably, right. The direction, from which side it is coming. If the ball has been thrown from this side, should I turn this side, should I turn this side, right. One needs to understand that sense of direction as well. The levels, if the ball goes there, should I tuck it down or should I stretch my hands and catch it. The pathways, which direction, how I should move. These are very important aspects of space awareness. All these three combined with fundamental movement skills, okay, actually helps us in the overall development of motor abilities, right. If you see locomotor skills, manipulative skills, stability skills, right, they all cannot exist independently. They all coexist. Even the effort, awareness, space awareness, relationship with your body, relationship with your, all coexist. And when you are actually performing an activity, actually you are doing all of this. Any activity, you are doing all of this or most of it. Some of the activities will be here. Maybe you are doing more of locomotion, more of manipulative, right, but effort, awareness and relationship always revolves around it. Some of the activities, maybe you are doing it here, stability and more of manipulative skill or more of stability skill, these things are always there with you, right. Then some of the activities will remain here, means you do locomotor skills, manipulative skills and stability skills. So, let us understand this. For example, if you are playing football, and if you are dribbling the ball, right, you are doing a locomotion, you are moving from one place to another. At the same time, there is an object. So, it is a manipulative skill, locomotion plus manipulative skill, and at the same time when you are dribbling, you are moving around, you are controlling your body. That is stability skill, right. And then now you need to understand how do you interact with your team members, the relationship with your team members, relationship of your body parts. So, the ball is coming from this side, should I use my right foot or should I use my left foot? That is the relationship that you need to understand. Then the effort required, how much should I put pressure to, how much should I put pressure so that the ball goes to the opponent's court. That the effort, the power required, that needs to be understood. And of course, the space awareness, the play area, where I am supposed to play, where I am supposed to be with or without the ball. So, any activity if you see, in fact, we are actually doing all of this or at least two of these. So, this is the most important skill that you must teach, all these fundamental movement skills to the students or to the children of nursery to 2 at the formative years. What happens if they master this? This is what. So, if you can walk properly, if you can run properly, if you have mastered that, you can play a lot of sports if you see, right. Volleyball, basketball, all this sport requires walking. Another fundamental skill, chasing, fleeing, dodging, again locomotor skill. If you are good at it, you can play this sport, you can play all this sport, right. If you can jump, land properly, which is your stability skill or could be a locomotor skill also if you are moving from one place to another, these are the sport that you can play, right. So, if you are good in fundamental movement skills, right, you will eventually be good at a lot of team sport or individual sport also, that you will start playing in the later stages of your life. So, how do we teach students locomotor skill, manipulative skill, non-manipulative skill, space awareness? The answer is create lesson plans according to that, right. Create lesson plan where a student or students are required to run from one place to another, right. They may never know that they are learning locomotor skill, right. They are enjoying, it has to be a fun, right. They are enjoying the activity, but you as a teacher, you know that you are actually focusing on locomotor skills, right. So, these are some of the examples, okay, of the activities that you can teach students, right. And so, these activities have to be progressive, okay. These activities you need to plan in advance, okay. This is a quarterly plan. For example, July, August and September, how do you plan? Pre-KG concept you teach, right, concept of space awareness, then skill assessment you do, formative assessment kind of, right. Then you locomotor movement and all pathways and all you teach them, right. LKG, if you say now you are moving progressing from pre-KG to you are going to LKG, what you are supposed to teach, then UKG, what you are supposed to teach. So, this is a kind of 3 months plan, okay, quarterly plan. Now, from a plan, if you see any one of the the activity, right, you break it down into a single session, okay. In order to execute it in a structured way, you need to convert the session into a lesson plan, right. And this is what a lesson plan looks like, right. Some of the elements of a lesson plan is this, right. The lesson plan has different parts. One, definitely aim of the lesson should be clear, right. So, if this lesson is thread the needle, which is actually passing the ball, okay. So, the aim is to learn passing and receiving football skills. The aim is clear, right. Then props and equipment required to conduct the activity. You must mention what are the props and equipment that you require to conduct this activity. warm up activity. So, you then you divide the entire duration into different sections, like warm up you do it for 5 minutes, then you do the activity again, the what do you call it, post warm up you are just teaching slowly an activity, you are introducing a skill. So, skill activity you do it for 10 minutes, right, then you do the actual activity for 15 minutes, then do the cool down. This structure, the way you form it, is called a lesson plan. Going back, you have a quarterly plan, 6 months plan, year plan, okay. Then you break it down and bring it to a single day session through lesson plan. So, it is very important that each of this activity falls in this structure. How will it help? It helps you manage the time efficiently. Imagine if you do not have this, students come, what do? You may end up doing the entire warm up session for 20 minutes, right. But if you are clear, if you have a defined lesson plan, you will understand that only for 5 minutes I am supposed to do this, then there is an activity for another 10 minutes, then there is a main activity for 15 minutes, then I will do 5 minutes of cool down, right. Briefing, debriefing also you need to do in between. Yeah. This is an example again, for the locomotor skill, right. As simple as just moving from one place to another. For kids, it is just from one place to moving from one place to another, running, little bit of jogging and all itself is a huge learning of a locomotor skill. Okay. Again, this is also an example of a lesson plan, okay, wherein it is clearly defined what is the learning outcome, what time you should spend, and the safety tips and the props and equipment required. This activity teaches the locomotor skill. This activity teaches stability skill or the non-manipulative skill. This activity teaches the manipulative skill. You are doing something with the object. So, keep it simple for younger kids, for N to 2 children, nursery to class 2. Keep it simple. Activities should be filled with fun. Engage with them, which I will be discussing. How do you do that? Okay. And use as much props as possible. Yeah. So, these are some of the teaching points that you must keep in mind when you are teaching this students of grade nursery or even pre-KG to class 2 kind of, right. The activity must be age appropriate. If the activity is not age appropriate, they will lose interest because it is too difficult to do that. If the activity is not age appropriate, they will not learn the skill because they are not interested at all. If the activity is not age appropriate, there are chances of injury. Imagine you are asking a 4-year-old to run 100 meters, right. That could be injury to a 4-year-old because one is required to run entire 100 meter, right. Break it down into 10 meters, then 10 meters, 10 meters. That makes the entire activity age appropriate. Okay. Then the activity must begin with a simple movement to the complex movement, right. If you want a child to sprint, start with just walking around, then jogging, then one should start sprinting. You must demonstrate the activities. The smaller the kids are, the more they understand by demonstration. You should guide them in between. You should not just stand in one place and ask them just to play since you have already demonstrated. You should always guide them. You should also do it with them, along with them, right. Use short sentences. The more you speak, the less interested they will be. Kids come to the playground to play. The more you speak, the less they get chance to play. So, you are actually robbing their time, play time while speaking. So, less speaking, tell them what to do, guide them, demonstrate them, then keep on guiding them, that is it. Encouraging and feedback, yeah, if a child is unable to do it, do not keep them aside and say, watch others, no. Tell them how to do it, help them, in fact, you should do it with them, just like guiding them, you should do it with them. Okay. Definitely you need to take safety measures, there should not be any hazardous, anything in and around the play area, right. You should always consider a place which is smooth, which is even, right, free from any sharp objects. Yeah. The most important, even if you do all these things, if the kids are not having fun, then you have failed. The most important part is they should have fun. If there is no fun, there is no learning. In sports and physical education, there is no fun, no learning. Everything that you learn in life, if there is no fun, no learning. Yeah. So, let us move to another category. Let us move to standard 3 to 5. So, in the standard grade nursery to 2, our activities involved, we added more of fundamental movement skills in our activities. So, once they have learned, once they have mastered fundamental movement skills like walking from one place to another, balancing skills, doing something with an object, now you can introduce them to sports skills, but the basic of sports skills. You need not teach them the entire advanced skills, just teach them. For example, if you are teaching them football, just teach them passing, dribbling and shooting. Basketball, passing, dribbling, shooting. Cricket, batting, bowling, perhaps a little bit of fielding. You need not teach them advanced skills at this time. Right. So, we move from teaching them fundamental skills, movement concept through building sports skills. So, here also add a lot of fitness building skills as well. Along with sports skills, they should improve their fitness as well, right? Flexibility, all this dynamic exercises, the floor exercises, stretchings and all has to be included in this. So, if you see, they aren't playing the full game also, they are playing more of dribbling the ball from one cone to another, then they are playing small sided games. That is how they get adapted to these team sports or the individual sports. Again, a clear lesson plan is there. Each lesson plan tells you what to do, what not to do. Very important thing to keep in mind, for a younger or smaller kids, talk less. Even for standard 3 to 5 students, talk less. But having said that, briefing is very important. They want to hear what you want them to do. Okay, so keep it very simple and very short. Again, go back to your lesson plan, stick to the time, and that way you will be able to manage the time properly and you will be able to finish the lesson the way it has to be finished. This is an example of a football session. This is an example of basketball. Again, you move from one place to another. Simple. So, they are not playing the game. They are doing a kind of drills. At the same time, they are learning drilling skill, ball handling, and a bit of ball handling, and they will also learn dribbling from one place to another. So, again, you are not teaching them full-fledged basketball skills, but you are introducing them to the basic of basketball skills. Very important to keep in mind, just like with the toddlers or with the nursery to 2 students you did, there are certain things that you need to keep in mind while teaching students of standard 3 to 5, right. One of the most important is divide them into smaller groups. Instead of playing a full-fledged, 11-a-side football match, okay, divide them into groups. Divide them into as many groups as possible and give them as many balls as possible. Why? The smaller the group, the more chances you get. Imagine you are playing 11-a-side, the ball is here, okay, somebody is waiting there, right. After 2 minutes he or she will get the ball. But if you have divided that into smaller groups, the chances of getting involved in a game is much higher. Use as many props as possible. Of course, you do not play actual football match or a basketball match with more than one ball, but in order to help them improve their skills, give them as many props as possible. Play with 2 balls, play with smaller teams. In that way what happens, you continuously get chance. The more chances you get, the quicker, the faster you develop your skills. Again, another very important part is in any age group, okay, whether it's 3-year-old or a 20-year-old, the activities will have to be age appropriate. 3 things very important. Why age appropriate? Minimizes injury, retains the interest, skills are learned properly. Okay, the activities will have to be age appropriate. Use as many props as possible, like I discussed, right. Activities should be, of course, fun, enjoyable. Students should learn. They learn only when they are having fun, right. It should be structured and properly planned, like you have a lesson plan and you know when to do, what to do, how to do it, right. And the safety measures are to be taken, which is very important. Let us go back and understand this. Foundational skills you start with, you graduate into sports, basic sports skills. As you move to standard 6 and 8, you expose students to multi-sport instead of making them play only 1 or 2 sport. Okay. This is the age basically under 13 years, standard 6 to 8, right. So, the research says that till the age of 13 you should not specialize, or you should not play only 1 game. You can still specialize, but provided you play the rest of the other games as well. Why? Because it helps you develop in such a way that the game that you specialize actually gets benefited with other sport that you play. One. The other one, there is a less chance of wear and tear of your same group of muscle. And the third one is you will be interested in that game forever, because otherwise what happens is that you play only 1 game, right. There are chances that you lose interest also in playing that game. So, 6 to 8, give them as much exposure as possible. Then by the time they reach standard 9 and all, you fairly know the students, what game they are good at, and students also know, oh, this is the game that I want to play, right. And by then their basic skills would have developed to a certain extent, right. The fitness also will reach certain level. So, this is the right time that you introduce them to specialization, which is the age of 15, 16 and above. And another very important thing is focus on the fitness side as well, right. Skill is one. You can do a lot of skills, right. But what if we cannot retain that skill, or what if you cannot play for 90 minutes, right, in football, right. What if you cannot, you can only bat but you cannot field in cricket, right. What if in basketball you can only go for shooting but you cannot defend and you cannot run around, right. So, fitness is very important. So, each of these activities will have to be accompanied by a fitness development plan as well. Yeah. So, you have a curriculum, you have a lesson plan that you execute, okay. Then you need to understand where do you play as well, right. Again, going back to previous session, we discussed about there are permanent play spaces and the play spaces that you create, right. Schools that has the less infrastructure, or the infrastructure is not as good as this one, you can still create a playing environment with the help of cones and the markers. Another very important thing is how do you manage the play space, or how do you create a conducive environment, right. Very important is space allocation is based on activities. For example, if you are playing football, right, you do not play football in a basketball court. You need to have a football ground or create a play space with the help of cones or marking items, right. Use different sections for activities, like somebody is playing football, right next to that don't put students, the small children and running activities, and all that needs to be understood for a safety purpose as well, right. And rotate stations, so rotating stations can help maximize use and keep students engaged throughout variety of activities, right. If there is a space that you have created, play space, right, this is a station for jumping, this is a station for running, this is a station for catching, this is a station for hopping, right. If you keep those 4 stations and you keep rotating, it retains the interest level as well. So, it is very important that how do you allocate the space and how do you create that space. Safety consideration, as I discussed earlier as well, right. The boundaries needs to be created, especially for younger children. There has to be a clear boundary saying that you do not go out of this play space, right. If there is a safety hazard, in fact, you tied a rope or a line or something to prevent them from going from one place to another, right. Inspect the place before you play, after the play, right, before you start the class, before after you end the class, right, you must do a thorough inspection of the play area and the ground. That ground should not be uneven, ground should not should not have any sharp objects, which is very important. There can be some parts of the equipments are broken, and whether they are lying there, you need to be very cautious about even after the play, right. And how do you organize your equipment, right. You need to have carts, you need to have bags, the right kind of equipment should be kept to the right place, right. Balls should not be kept in the open sun for a longer period of time, or if it is raining, there are some equipment that that should not be under the water, which are not waterproof, and you need to be very careful about how do you actually arrange the equipment and how do you keep them as well, right. Another important is the easy access of the equipment as well, and ground should, if the ground is here, the equipment should not be in the 3rd floor, right. It should be next to the ground. Storeroom should be next to the ground, even if it is at the 3rd floor. For example, this the storeroom, you should always bring it back for the entire day. It should remain at a safe place, at a shaded place next to the ground, which is easy for students to go and access, for you also to easily go and access the same. Environmental adaptation is another very important aspect, that if the climate is very hot outside, you need to play indoor games, right. How do you create that environment indoor if you have space, or if you even do not have space inside the classroom? So, what are the activities that you need to pick up, right. That is a very important consideration when you are considering for the play space. And so some of the activities that can only be done indoor, those activities, like for example yoga, though you can do it outside as well, but it is always good to do in a shaded place, smooth place. So these are some of the activities that you can do indoor. While planning that, that I will do yoga, all the yoga activities indoor, right. I will do all the football or basketball outdoor sport on the field. So that is very important, right. Understand the climate also, right. If there is a running activity that needs to be done, okay, you do not do that, or you do not plan that activity during the summer time or during the hot weather time, right, or even during the rainy time. Should be during winters, where students can go and do a lot of aerobic activities. Understand that when you are creating a play space, okay, it should be inclusive and inclusive, right. So, arrange play space focusing on students from different abilities, right. There are students with special abilities as well, right. So, when you are creating a play space or selecting a play space, understand and keep in mind that it should be inclusive, that it should be easy access for them as well, and also for the normal students as well. Clear flow of movement, like there should be easy entry, the clear entry path to the play area, and exit path also. And you can in fact optimize that by doing, you enter from here, you do the warm up here, play the activity here. This is the place where you actually do the cool down, and you exit from that side to the, the class, or you get dispersed. So, that planning, not all play area will have that privilege or the schools will have, but if you get an opportunity to plan that way, you must always plan a clear flow of movement. Use visual clues, especially for smaller kids, right? The more colorful you make the play area, the more excited they get, the more they enjoy, and it's fun for everyone, right? The visual clues can be used for your supervision as well, right? You can easily understand, you can say that hey, smaller kids, you play in that green zone, okay, class 6 kids playing in the red zone, for example. It's easy for you also to supervise from a distance, knowing that if you see a smaller kid in the red zone, you say, hey, this is not the zone that you should be going, right? So it's, you can use that also as a the supervision, or to minimize some kind of injuries, right? Space management for large groups, again, like I mentioned earlier, for a larger groups, and you suppose the larger groups from the different age groups come together, right? Then again, you create different play space where you put kids with same age group in one side, kids with same age group, another age group in another side, right? That also can be easily achieved through a proper space management. Small sided games and all, this is basically to reduce the clutter in one big field. Everybody is playing. Instead of that, you play small sided, divide them into group, and everybody is engaged. These are some of the, I would say, the efficient ways of managing the space, okay, but there are plenty. I mean, you can go do your own research, right? And it depends on where you are, depends on the type of facility available in your school also. But these are good to have and good to know. These are some of the points that you must understand and make use of it whenever you have the opportunity to. Yeah, well, the other important part is how do you actually manage your equipment, props and equipment, after you play or before you play or during the holidays, right? Or for the easy access, right? How do you manage? Definitely is you should have a proper place to keep them. There's a the well ventilated, I would say, this place free from any moisture, right? Those kind of places are very good for balls which are synthetic balls, or the leather balls and all. The plastic and others, in fact, okay, if it is not if it is in a direct sunlight and all, it may warp, it may bend. So it's very important that you have a place which is away from the direct sunlight, I would say, right? Or there is no leakages in that, no damp room, right? This will help you keep your props and equipment for a longer period of time. Keep a rack if required, because it's easily, instead of dumping all the balls in one side, keep a rack. It's easy for somebody to pick it up. It's easy for somebody to understand when what is required, right? It saves the time as well as it looks neat and tidy. Yeah, and one must keep a register, online, offline, okay, and keep auditing, if not every day, okay, but at least once in a week, one must do this, okay. So in that way, you'll be able to keep a track of your inventory. If you require at least 20 balls for 40 students, for example, right? If one is also lost, okay, tomorrow when your actual activity is planned with 20 balls, you will end up with one less ball if you are not keeping a track of it. If you are keeping a track of it, you can easily replace it. So it's always advisable that you keep a register. In fact, whenever there is an item lost or damaged, quickly you should call it out, and if it needs to be replaced immediately, you should replace it immediately. These are some of the props and equipment used for different age groups, like parachute play. this parachute is something that you can use it for hand-eye coordination, listening skill, right? So, ladders and all these are agility ladders. These are the props and equipment basically used for students of formative years to teach them fundamental movement skills. And these are some of the popular sports, the props and equipment like football, basketball, and all. So, like I mentioned, one must maintain a register, right? If you have a parachute available is 2 today, right? If you have 2 parachute available, right, and damaged is 1, right? You must always, keep a track of it. This is for the month of May, June, July. So, every month you should have that. Recommended is every week you should do it, okay? Daily you should in fact call out if there is a damage, right? Keep a track of it, and this will definitely help you manage the entire props and equipment well, so that when you actually require, you are not surprised, or shocked to see, less props. Yes, so let's go back and understand the 3 most important factors for implementation, successful implementation of your plan. Lesson plan, map to curriculum framework. That lesson plan is mapped to each age, each category with a specific learning outcome. Availability of play space, whether it's a permanent play area or you create a temporary play area. Available or not available, what do you do if it is not available, right? How do you go and do a tie-up with the nearby park or a next school or a next public playground? And the third one, which is another very important, is the availability of props and equipment, the types of prop and equipment, age appropriateness of it, right, and keeping a track of it. These are very important aspects that define the success of your plan. Thank you. See you in the next class.